Ladies and creatures and gentlemen, this is the Spooky Diaries. This is the Wrestling Diaries. The special Halloween episode, and my lip is coming up on me. I'm your host, Mitchell the Ghoul Roulane. And just so people are wondering, this is recorded on Halloween, but the episode actually won't drop until Wednesday of the following week. That's like November the 4th. It is so hard to talk in this contraption here. But anyways, as always, check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and watch the videos. You can see the creepiness on YouTube. Today, I have a really awesome good friend of mine that I've been wanting to get on the show for a while, actually. Miss Bethany Gamble, or Mufasa.
No.
What's up, Mufasa? Simba. I felt like I have a hair lip.
Who was the she lion though? It was Nala.
Nala, right.
Nala doesn't have a mane though.
That's what I was about to say. Like, you got the mane. You got to be, it's either Mufasa
Look,
or you could be Scar.
I'm Nala with an identity crisis, which is appropriate. That's what we're going to go with. Final answer.
So she is a lion, a lioness. And we're having a little bit of bourbon on Halloween. Cheers. Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm going to drink this through the mask. Kids, if you're trick-or-treating today, ask your parents to go out and get you some Maker's Mark bourbon whiskey. Tastes real good with the Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how much flack I'm going to get for this episode. Who knows?
We haven't even got it started yet,
we haven't
buddy.
even got started yet.
You told me I could swear.
Yeah, you can swear all day long if you want. Jesus. So, Bethany, tell me a little bit about yourself.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Well,
okay, let's start with this. What are you doing currently right now? What's your profession?
My profession?
Besides, like, getting antelopes and wildebeests.
Well, my profession currently is I'm in the field of construction. Yeah.
Grace Klein Construction?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get that again.
I do stuff. So I was a systems administrator for close to a decade. Before that, I was in graphic design for, or I alternated between the IT field and graphic design. They share a lot in common. So, and I did that for, a decade, so for 20 years I was in the IT field. And so now I'm never working on a computer again for the rest of my life. So professionally, I'm just going to do whatever. I'm just going to try the weird out there stuff that,
Life comes full circle sometimes, right? Like you went to the construction, then you went to the nonprofit organization part, and then you went somewhere else, and now you're back to the construction.
Yeah, that's right.
And in case anybody's wondering, Grace Klein Community is a nonprofit organization, which they also have a construction company called Grace Klein Construction, and Bethany has worked for both of them. So, yeah. How did you get into the nonprofit part of it?
Well, it's kind of a fun story because, I met Jenny and Jason right after it started, about 10 years ago. Right when they first started Grace Klein Community, we met. And it's cool. We have I always tell people I have this really real romance with the nonprofit because I had just moved to Birmingham and I just met them and I was coming out of a crazy church. And I was looking for a way.
What do you mean crazy church?
They were crazy.
Like how crazy? They're playing with snakes?
No, but there was there were some.
You don't have to get the name of the church. You can just tell us what happened.
Stories.
Is there orgies?
I've heard stories of orgies. Yes. And I heard things I experienced firsthand.
Matt, can you get us signed up for that church real quick? It's a joke, ladies and gentlemen.
Saying,
don't get your panties in a wad. Continue.
It was an older crowd. Which you might want to wear the mask, bro. That's
perfect for me. That's perfect for me. Bring it on.
So, I know there was a lot of spiritual abuse in the church, and and it wasn't just that stuff. It was, people are always looking for, I guess, emotional stuff. When it comes to religion, spirituality, especially Christianity, here, where we live, people are looking for something to get them emotionally whipped up. And I think, people don't use their brains and the deeper parts of their heart as much as they should when it comes to spirituality and Jesus and Christianity and all that. So anyway, I got wrapped up in all that and I just needed to get out of it. And so we had just moved to Birmingham and I was looking for a way to like just find people that were like me, because where I was just kind of an outlier. And anyway, I met Jenny and Jason, and there was like this drum circle, and I was like in love. Like that's all I saw was the drum circle. Like I didn't know these people at all. I just saw that there was a drum circle, and I was like, yes, I'm doing this now forever. And then like I got to know them, and they knew me through a lot of really hard stuff, and we walked through some hard stuff together, and the opportunity arose for me to kind of step up and manage the office there, and I did that for a while. But I've been in ministry to some degree for almost as long as I've been in IT, so I kind of got burned out. Needed to walk away from leadership. Period. Like I've been in leadership everywhere I've ever worked, and it's just like it wears you out. If you're doing it right.
Well, so I mean, what, you don't want to be a leader? You're wearing a lion's mane over there. That's king of the jungle. Predatorial leader.
I think we should all strive to be. Leaders. I'm so super serious about this stuff. I think we should all strive to walk as leaders, and leadership in that. I always like describe leadership as you're willing to die so no one else has to. That's leadership. You're on the front lines. And so I think we should all try to like walk like that. But professionally, when your life and your income and everything depends on leadership, and then you add an element of like feeling responsible for people's spiritual health on some level, that's a lot to take on. And I think, you should know when it's time to take a break, And of course I listen to God, I'm that kind of person. So, I feel like God told me it was okay to take a break, and I feel like he'll probably tell me get back in the ring at some point, but not today,
So, why did you want to, so it was mostly just because you're just kind of burnt out on doing a leadership role? Is that mostly why you left?
It's compassion exhaustion, I think.
Compassion exhaustion. Explain that.
Compassion exhaustion. Oh, it's just when you like, I mean, I've heard it described 100 different ways, but essentially, like, self-care is not a thing for me. Like, I don't have time for that mess. And you should. Like, self-care is important. Like, you hear a lot of talk about it today. It hasn't always been a thing, but, like, I just don't do that. And so I'm all about dying empty. I want to die empty. I want to die, no blood in my body. Like, I gave everything. But when you live your life like that every day, and you're a single mother, and, you got other stuff that you're trying to work out in your life, you're always, like, trying to feel empathy for the person in front of you. I think that's really important.
Yeah, it can be a very daunting, heavy task to take on, I imagine.
Even if you don't like that person, right? I mean, like, right now, politics is king right now, right? And so everybody hates each other. But like, what if we all took a deep breath, and instead of addressing people like they were bad, like there was something morally wrong with them, we just addressed them with empathy all the time. Like, why do you feel this way? Where are you coming from? Like, real, true empathy. And that takes a lot of work. And so when you do that all day, every day, like professionally, you where's you at?
So what do you, you're back at the construction site now. What do you do now?
I just drive a big old truck around and deliver stuff. And then I pick up trash.
You pick up trash?
I pick up trash. I'm a materials manager. I think that's technically
materials manager. Okay.
Yeah, I manage the materials, I do inventory, and
now, did you go
really uninteresting.
You said you did a lot of IT stuff. So do you have credentials in IT? You went to school for?
No, I just figured it out. Yeah, I had certifications and stuff at some point. I had, a handful of certifications, primarily, Microsoft focused certifications. That was a Microsoft Cloud professional when it was new. I was one of the first people. I used to be a beta tester for like the Microsoft Cloud stuff. Yeah, I just got really good at it really fast. I'm pretty mechanically inclined, so that stuff comes easy to me. I'll
remember that when I want to build a robot. Make sure,
I've done some of that that too. I've done some CAD programming and all that stuff. I mean, my brain likes that.
I'm about to enter the reality show Robot Wars. I need you to help me cook up this like Terminator.
We'd lose.
I wonder how many people can actually, like people watching the episode, I wonder how many of them are like, I just can't take this guy serious right now. Look at his face.
I can't take you seriously right now.
Just keep drinking. It'll come.
No problem.
So before you came back to Grace Klein Construction, you were working like on an oil rig or something to that effect?
No, I was cleaning up, and it was like basically like they're industrial janitors, but they cleaned up anything that would cause an environmental hazard. So oil spills being one of those things, but also like you have all kinds of slag and sludge that comes off these things. I spent a lot of time like in a lime plant because lime plants are just full of things that destroy the environment and your body. So I spent some time doing that. It sounds like I'm one of those people that just hops around on jobs, but I'm really not. I kept the same job for a decade, and then I was just like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I've been wandering around.
I mean,
since
it wouldn't
then,
matter if you people hop around jobs. Who cares, right? You do what you got to do in life to pay the bills.
I'm a loyalist. I'm loyal. I like loyalty. I think loyalty is underrated.
When I start a multi-million-dollar company, you're going to come work for me?
I don't know. It depends on what kind of boss you are. You can never wear that mask again.
She's well, that's one of the stipulations. So that's already a tally against your resume right there. I'm going to wear this mask all the time with a cardigan.
Creepy CEO mask. It would be a good creepy CEO mask.
Where's Bethany at? Where the hell's Bethany? Get her in here. Oh, man. Also, another thing I want to talk to you about is you all about some fitness, man. One of the reasons why I told you this earlier when I got you on the show is because there's a picture of you on Instagram and you just look jacked. I mean, this chick, you can't tell because she's wearing a lion outfit, but she is super jacked. You're like the only female friend, woman friend that I have that I feel I want to be like physically competitive with. The only one. Like I want to like challenge her to a push-up battle and like see who can like deadlift more and all this stuff. It's crazy.
You'd probably beat me right now.
I don't know. But anyway, show me about that. What got you into fitness? Like you're like super into fitness. Why'd you get into
that? That's a fun story. So
let's hear it from the beginning.
Yeah. So after I had a baby 16 years ago and got married, I gained a lot of weight and topped out at about 300 pounds. I was always really active. Like, I think I might be an Enneagram 8. I keep going back and forth between 6 and 8. I don't know if your folks do the Enneagram thing, but Enneagram 8.
We don't. That's of the devil.
Well.
No, I'm kidding.
Hell Satan. Just kidding. Just kidding. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, I did that Enneagram. I forget which one I was though.
The
Achiever. That's the one I got. I don't know what number that is.
I think that's 3.
3, yeah. I got 3 and some wing. Yeah. The other wing, I forgot what the wing was.
Probably a 3 with a 2 wing.
What's the 2 wing?
2 wings are the helpers.
No, it wasn't a helper.
It was a 4, the unicorn.
I don't know. I think one of them, like 3 was the achiever, and then one of them was like something to do with rebel something.
It may have been 4. Probably 4 then.
What's that one?
4s can be rebels. 4s are more the people that are really focused on individuality.
Yeah, I think that was
it. It can be really emotional.
Yeah, I think that was the wing. I'm super emotional. I'm very sensitive.
Okay.
Big old
No, emotions take courage.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in it.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that I'm a
You are definitely a 4 then. They definitely have a 4 wing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Where were we? I can't remember what I was talking about.
You were talking about how you got into bodybuilding.
Yeah. Powerlifting.
Powerlifting.
Which I'm kind of getting into the bro stuff because I keep hurting myself. So yeah, I might go through
like not to interrupt, but like technically, I was talking to somebody about this once. Technically, there's a misconception people have about bodybuilding. They think you're like super jacked diesel spray tan on the stage. But technically, if you are doing any kind of resistance training to build and reshape the physique, that is by definition bodybuilding.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, just not professional bodybuilding.
So I guess my I mean, I'm kind of my body composition right now is kind of jacked, kind of fat, which I'm totally comfortable with it.
Jacked, kind of fat.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel that should be
I'm
on a
good with it.
t-shirt.
Kind of jacked, kind of fat.
Kind of fat.
Yeah, I'm cool, and I'm cool with it. It actually took me a long time to get cool with that, but like, I guess my body composition is a byproduct of wanting to be strong AF. Like, that's it. I just pick up like heavy weights, but I'm learning to like.
And I put them down.
I'm having to learn to periodize appropriately, which that just means to go in keep your body in peak performance. You gotta train right. And I don't have a coach or anything because I'm a single mom and I work at a construction company, so I don't have a coach. Everything I know, I've learned on my own. So yeah, it's a learning process for me. But I got into it because like I've always been really strong. Actually, I've always been strong as an ox. Like, you can ask anybody that knew me growing up. Even when I was a big girl, I could pick up the rear end of a car off the ground. Like, I was strong. I was really strong. I was born strong. I always tell people, like, if somebody would have really championed my, if someone would have championed my strength and instead of trying to make me like super girly when I was young, because everyone tried to make me, when you're a girl growing up, everyone wants you to be a girl. And I was like, yeah, I'm female. I consider myself feminine, but I love being a girl, but I don't give a shit about like most of the stuff that other girls my age cared about. If someone would have championed my strength, I'd be the strongest girl in the world right now, hands down. I'll say it but I'm almost 40 now, so I'll never be the strongest girl in the world. But anyway,
she would be Atlasia. Atlasia, Atlas.
Right.
The Titan
Boom.
that was cursed to hold the weight of the world on his back. Atlas. But you'd be at. I don't remember.
I could go really deep on that. We're not. I'm not there yet. So strength has always been really important to me. It's always been physical, emotional strength, mental strength. They've always been like characteristics I really valued. Strength. And I spent more than half my life as a person in a larger body. And went through, a divorce and kind of really starting to deal with some of the trauma I dealt with earlier in my life. And the byproduct of that was weight loss. And so I lost a lot of weight really, really fast. And the more weight I lost, the more agile I got, the more athletic I was. Like I said, I was never one of those people that was very sedentary. I always moved a lot, even when I was really big. I was one of the most athletic big girls I knew, but there's only so athletic you can be when you're trying to do it with 300 pounds.
How much weight have you, to date, how much weight have you lost from when you were at your 300-pound maximum to now?
At peak, I lost 180 pounds.
Oh, that's insane. That's like a person. That's like my weight.
Pounds.
You lost a me off of your body. That's insane.
And I've put back on probably 40 pounds.
That's probably, a lot of that's probably muscle.
A lot of
it's
right? muscle, and it's healthy. Like that's
lean. It's lean tissue mass.
Yeah. And really, that's what really kind of ignited, honestly, my passion. The passion. It is a passion for sure. My passion for strength training. And I say I'm not like a real power lifter, but I train like I am one. I think that's important. Like, especially for females, they always exercise for body composition. It's all about body composition. And I'm guilty of that too. But, I tell myself I train like I'm going to be the last person left on the planet. Like I'm Batman. Like I get in that headspace of like, I'm queen of everything and I'm going to be the strongest person in the world, even though I never will be. I can pretend for an hour though. I got into strength training because I lost all that weight. I got really skinny and I actually got really, really sick. Because I've actually suffered I've had an eating disorder that I've had symptoms of on and off since I was a teenager. And really, strength training was kind of helped me come to terms with it a little bit and helped me like not be so afraid of food and focus on something other than like what, body dysmorphia tells me that I am. So I just want to be strong AF. And if I just focus on that, like all the other stuff gets a lot quieter.
Are you, at one point, you might still be, are you vegan or vegetarian or something, weren't you then? At one point?
So I'm
If you're
kind of
not now.
vegetarian right now. Yeah, I kind of like.
What is kinda vegetarian?
So I took like I said, I have a history of eating disorder, so I have to be careful with food rules.
What kind of eating disorder did you have?
Anyone that's ever had an eating disorder will tell you if you've got one, you've got them all.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah.
I definitely have an eating disorder. It's called I love food.
But I have like I've had symptoms of like I've had bulimic and anorexic behaviors at different points in my life, even when I was in a larger body. Yeah. So I was hospitalized a couple times when I was a teenager. I was almost hospitalized again, just a few years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane,
Yeah.
man.
But again, strong AF, man, and
Right.
you can't get strong if you don't eat.
That's very true. You gotta put in the calories to get the mass on it. Man, I'm looking at myself on the monitor right now and it's really freaking me out. Like, is it easy for you to have a serious conversation with me like this? I feel like it's more challenging, right?
It's getting
This
easier.
this is what Bethany is wrestling with, trying to talk to this face seriously. Right now there's some old guy out there that looks just like this and he's pissed.
I got something for you.
Look at Matt's. Matt's got his face on the thing. He's one of those old, Black Plague doctors?
I believe you have demons in your blood. You should do cocaine about it.
Yeah, you got to get rid of all the bad blood,
There's so
and then
much
you'll be
happening.
saved and cured, or die. That's probably what
You
will
said this was gonna be a weird episode.
happen. I told you, it's Halloween. It's Halloween, lady.
I'm a lion sitting with a plague doctor and an old guy talking about bulimia.
And a cookie
Drinking
monster.
whiskey.
Cookie. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take attention away, but you're talking about your diet. So you're kind of vegetarian, so you still eat protein or meat protein. What do you eat?
It's protein. It's my protein sources when I'm
Like fish?
off meat. No, I eat a lot of soy, a lot of pea protein.
Soy
The
increases your
volume
estrogen.
of food, though, when you're vegan, that's the thing people don't understand. If you're a healthier vegan, the volume of food that you have to eat, it's actually not super hard to hit an appropriate protein goal. It's a little harder when you're like me and you're legit like, you don't care if you get jacked. I want to be strong. I don't care if I get
that's
big and buff.
That's right. You just want strength.
So
But you look like your body looks like someone who is trying to be jacked. And I've worked out with a lot of female professional bodybuilders, and your body's kind of flirting around towing that line.
I've got good genetics.
My opinion, my unprofessional opinion.
I have good genetics for just muscle.
I got to tell you the story real quick. You obviously, I feel like you like if people are like, oh my god, you're looking jacked, that makes you feel good about yourself.
Sure. Yeah.
So the first time my Cheyenne, like came up to Grace Klein, she was getting some stuff, and this is when you were still working there for the nonprofit part of the organization. And she was like, yeah, it was some really sweet lady, some blonde lady, and then some like really muscular chick, like some jack chick.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's Bethany.
Oh, you just made my day.
That's Bethany. She was like, yeah, she's like in a tank top, and she looked like she could rival you, Mitch. And I was like, oh, get the out of here. No, she can't.
I'm a pacifist. I'd let you just beat the crap out of me.
But yeah, I thought you'd get a kick out of that. She's like, yeah, some muscular chick. I was like, oh,
that actually makes my day. If that goes on my
some
tombstone,
muscular chick.
If that's the only thing on my tombstone, I'll be happy. Here lies some muscular chick.
Here lies muscular chick, and then there's like the little emoji of the arm muscle chiseled in there.
Okay with that.
But anyways, do you have like a certain goal that you're trying to get as far as like powerlifting? Like what's I don't really know much about powerlifting, so
I'd like to compete, in like a local competition. Like I've actually volunteered at a couple of the state championship. I volunteered. Like I want to be the best spotter on the planet. That's probably as far as I'll ever get. That's the thing I've learned. That's the really hard lesson I've had to learn is like, I'm almost 40 years old. But my training age is still pretty young. Most people get started when they're much younger. My real training age is probably only like 3 or 4 years old. But I'm almost 40, and I keep hurting myself on really big lifts. So I probably won't ever be competitive. So yeah, what is my goal? That's something I have to like ask myself all the time. What is your goal? Why are you doing this? And like I'm just doing it because I'm the queen of right freaking now. Right now, you told me I could cuss. I'm the queen of right now. Like it's about like
you can't say the F word.
The F word. it's about like being in that moment, you know. For me, like I said, I have a lot of I love the name of the podcast because I'm one of those people that definitely have a lot I'm wrestling with, and in that moment, on every like big lift, there is like that element of F you, like F you, like and putting it all on the platform and dying there for a second. It just feels good.
I got to tell you, the time that I've like aggressively weight trained, have you ever like cussed out your weight?
Oh,
You little bitch!
every day.
You piece of shit! You're gonna do you. Bitch,
I think
have
I'm
you ever
like
done that? I've done that.
due
It's
to my
super
barbell
crazy.
every time I lift. I like it's.
I've literally slapped my barbell and spit on it. I was like, man, what you bitch, and just.
I thought about it, but no, I don't think. I think they frown on that, especially at Planet Fitness, right? We were talking about.
Hey, you're setting off the some kind of alarm. We haven't made it yet. The aggressive alarm. Don't talk to your weights that way.
Yes, be kind to the weights. I have a love-hate relationship with the barbell.
How many days a week do you train or work out? Should I say?
Right now 5, sometimes 6.
5 in a row and then 2 days off, or
Depends on how I feel. Yeah, the like when you get into heavier stuff, you have to take recovery really, really seriously because you don't build
for sure.
muscle while you're in the gym. You build it when you're recovering. So, and I've had to, again, that's one of those things I've had to learn. Like, I'm a chronic overtrainer. I will go to the gym every day and max out my deadlift. Like, you have to stop me. Somebody has to stop me. Like, but I've had to learn to, you know, recover. So 5 days a week I go, and two of those are actually conditioning. Conditioning is important, even if you're a power lifter, and that's probably why I have like masculine biceps from the conditioning work.
I think it's awesome, dude. I mean, I feel like you're doing a good job. Like it makes you stand out. Like
I don't want to stand out.
you don't. Want to stand out?
I don't like
Well,
standing out. I'm like,
then don't post pictures on Instagram.
yeah, I know.
In a sports bra with your freaking jacked AK-47s on display.
It's one of those things where I'm in the gym by myself. There's nobody else here because like everybody else's power was out, and there were trees down in the road, and it's 4 a.m. and nobody's gonna go to the gym in conditions like that unless you're somebody like me and you take yourself way too seriously. And I'm like, I'm gonna take one of those gym selfies. I'm gonna do it. And I did it, and I immediately regretted it. I was like, I worked hard for this.
A couple of years ago when I was doing, I was in this mild bodybuilding program when I was working at the doctor's office. I took a picture of myself at the gym and I was wearing a teenage girl's t-shirt of Captain Jack Sparrow. And dude, it just looked painted on me. It was super funny. And then I had my hands down my pants. I titled it Captain Jack Off Sparrow.
Oh.
I'm sorry for you easy listeners out there. I'm sorry. I'm being
That's a
nasty.
13-year-old.
Yeah, I forget where like I got that shirt. I think it was my ex-girlfriend Grace Matt, her little sister's shirt, and she had it for some reason. I was like, I'm gonna put this on. It was super hilarious. We'll share the picture. I'll find the picture and send it to you so you can pull it up on the actual podcast. Because I can't talk. My lips coming onto my lip.
Well, you know, it's not the first time you've wore women's clothing. Didn't you wear your mom's outfit one time?
Yes, I wore my mom's little like Vietnamese nightie, the capris with a little button-up shirt that had a picture of Saigon on it.
That's
Yeah, I'll
adorable.
find that photo. I have that.
Yeah, so we'll put up that photo, and I'll send you the photo of me in the Captain Jack Off Sparrow set.
Own it. That sounds.
I can't talk on this mask. Anyways, continue. Dude, what gym do you work out at?
I have like 3 gym memberships.
What the? All right, what are they? Let's go.
So I work out primarily at Go Play. Yeah, which is like right next to my house. Yeah, it's a cool place. It's like this. It's actually kind of just a grungy little out of the way gym. Their focus is mostly on teenagers, but I kind of love getting there to like squat, deadlift, or whatever. Or I do like trap bar carries a lot right now. It's because you can put like 300 pounds on a trap bar and walk with it. It feels really badass.
The trap bar is the one that it's on the sides. You pick it up like you're putting pants on.
Yeah. you get that kind of supinated grip. It makes it, you can put a lot of weight on that.
Doing a deadlift that way is so much harder. I do like regular deadlifts, and then I'll do dumbbell deadlifts, and I'll do the heavy dumbbell deadlifts. Like I'll use like 65, 70 pounds, and I'll do it on the side.
I'm so much stronger with the trap bar.
Oh my God. The trap bar is so much harder for me.
I don't train with the trap bar. I've heard that
crazy.
a lot, though, that females that, I hope I'm saying it right, that supinated grip is easier for females for some reason. I've heard that said, like, pull-ups, like, strict pull-ups are really hard for me. Supinated grip, I can knock them out. Yeah, and you're not even using different muscle groups. It's a weird thing. So I got to go play, and it's like there's a lot of teenagers there, and I kind of love it because they're full of piss and vinegar, and they kind of get on my nerves. But I kind of love it at the same time because it does. I don't know. It's just something about the energy that bad little kids put off. It's good. And then
she's a psychic vampire, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
kind of am. Like I feed off. I'm an extrovert, so I do feed off other people's emotions a lot. Like I'm an extroverted empath, so there's a lot. I draw a lot from other people. I got a Crunch because I was at Goals, and they
Crunch Fitness. Yeah, I know.
So Crunch is pretty good. And then I've gone to Gym Time. I actually recently canceled my membership there because I didn't like it very much. So I actually need to find a third a little further out.
I gotcha. You need to come to my gym. 24E Fitness Health Club just replaced Gold Gym in Pelham.
That.
Super freaking awesome.
I need to try it out. I definitely need to try it out.
I did that because back when I worked at the doctor's office, our office had a membership with 24E in Hoover. Really awesome place, man. It's got everything you need.
Well, let me tell you about Crunch Fitness because I'm a little. I don't want to cheat on Crunch Fitness too much though. I'll tell you why. Because Dave was at Gold's. Dave is a guy. Dave's this guy I met at Gold, and Dave is at Crunch. And Dave is one of those people you never speak to. He doesn't say much. He just high fives. Like if there could be 100 people in the building, and he's gonna high five all of them. I'm like, Dave's here. It's time to work out. I've had maybe one conversation with Dave about hyperextensions, but once I saw Dave, I was like, I'm staying. Dave is like one of those superstitious, like Dave around, you getting gains. You know what I'm saying? So
it's so weird.
Hey, if you knew Dave, you'd understand.
I get it. No, he sounds delightful.
He is delightful. So yeah, so that's why I don't really want to. I don't want to cheat on Crunch Fitness too much.
Well,
I don't know how I feel about.
You just said you were looking for a third gym.
I am looking for a third gym.
Saying.
I'm looking for a third gym.
24E Fitness Health Club.
I kind of want to try out one of those places that's a little more hardcore, like for serious lifters, like for people that are like no bullshit, not here to play. All needs a barbell.
Like Iron Tribe.
Look, if CrossFit is your thing, that's cool.
I'm kidding.
CrossFit is about getting good at CrossFit. And it's hey, if that's your thing, like I'm not knocking it. I tend to make fun of CrossFit a little bit, but no, man, like you see these documentaries and stuff about West Side Barbell. They have like 45-pound plates welded onto the bar.
Jesus.
So if you're not at if your lift, whatever lift it is, if you're not at 135, you just screw you. That's kind of place I'd love to find a place like that.
Oh my God, that's super hilarious.
I love it. I like the fear. The fear is probably my favorite part, man.
Yeah, I kind of get off on that stuff too. Like the stuff that gives other people high anxiety. It still gives me anxiety, but there's something about it. I just feed off of the weirdness, the awkwardness, the anxiety, the nervousness. I like that stuff. It's so weird. My friend Daria from Germany, she's a kickboxing instructor. She used to be a professional kickboxer, but she said, "Oh, well, you would really love doing fighting then." And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. But she was like, "Well, you like excitement and adrenaline? That's what fighting is." I was like, "Yeah, but I also like my face."
That's right.
And I don't want, my nose to be on the other side of my cheek.
I have a lot of respect for fighters. Like
you would love this chick. She's super low key. She's actually introverted. She's very soft spoken and sweet. She's also a psychologist, but she's a killer. Like she could beat all three of us in this room with no problem whatsoever. Like she's very dangerous. She's trained with you know who Israel Adesanya is? He's the middleweight champion of the world right now in the UFC. Yeah, she's trained with him. Like they're pals. When he won the last fight, she gave a shout out to him on like Instagram or something, and he messaged her. Okay. I'm name dropping here.
There's no kind of stamina that like getting punched in the face, and then like having I've talked to because I've it's something I've wanted to try. It's just
Getting punched in the face.
like boxing and stuff. But like I said, I'm a pacifist. And one of the reasons I am a pacifist. I choose that path is because I have a lot of aggression. I have a lot of potential for violence. So I've wanted to try boxing and stuff. And I was talking to this guy, and he talked about like everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face.
That's very, very
and
true.
that's like I can't remember who said it, but I think somebody really like famous or whatever in that field said it. But like I guess it is really easy to. Like I'm strong, right? So you would like the natural assumption is somebody's strong that they could kick your ass, right? And that's not true at all. Like
no, I've known like bodybuilder dudes that are super jacked to the gills that looked super dangerous. They could stop a stray bullet, but they were very like if they got punched in the face, they would start crying. Like I knew a guy that was that sensitive. He was super like he looked super. I mean, if you got a hold of it, you could probably pop your head off, but like. If you punched him in the face and like hit him in the nose, like he would just he would buckle.
That's me. I'd just be like, depending on the circumstances, I'd probably just be sad about it. Like, don't hit me, why'd you hit me? But I do have a lot of aggression.
Well, that's why. So you do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So that way you're not punching anybody in the face. You're just grappling. You know, you're playing chess.
It's one of those things. Like until I get like bored or hurt myself so bad that I can't keep doing it, which is possible. I'm like, all I give a out is getting strong. Because I can't run. I was doing distance running, and that's another passion I have, but I can't because I'm
joint issues.
Yeah, I messed up my ACL pretty bad. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it anymore. I went through like some serious depression about that. Like that was my identity. So I've had to get away from that. But I'll train strength until I've gotten as strong as I can, or until I hurt myself, and then I was talking to a dear friend of mine about it, and we were like. We were walking through the woods and we were like, one day we're not going to be able to do this anymore. We're going to get old. We're not going to be able to do this anymore. And we went off on this whole tangent about like, we've got to have a backup plan. And so we were like, we can learn to sail. We can learn to horseback ride. And,
you could still do that. I saw a picture on, I think it was Instagram. I'm not 100% sure, but it was of this 69-year-old woman. And she had a sports bra on. She had abs and muscles, and she looked like she had the body of like a 39-year-old woman. And I was like, what the? And she was 69 years old.
I hope to be one of those people. I really do.
Just saying. Now, maybe if she's genetically gifted, probably. She probably has a little help there in that department. She's probably blessed. But also, I'm just saying, not out of the realm of possibility.
I have to be realistic at times about it to again like I've got to a lot of mental health issues around like body image and stuff to navigate, so I have to like always kind of remind myself that my goal is not my identity. You know what I mean? So like my personality is that I've got to be like really focused on something and getting after something. And right now that's strength. And I hope it's strength forever because it always kind of had, like I said, it has been like that's an important characteristic for me, for myself. But the realistically, like I was really hard on my body for a long time and I might have to pay the price for that at some point. And I might have to, you never have to walk away completely. Like I can just be really jacked on one side. I will do that shit. I will be like really
like Quasimodo.
Right. I'll be really jacked on.
No sanctuary.
One-legged like deadlifts and one-arm push-ups, pull-ups, all that. I'll do it, but I'm always thinking like, well, what's next? And again, like I think I might be an Enneagram 8 because I am very embodied. I really need to express myself with my body. That's really important to me. If I can't find a way to do that, again, I'm navigating all these mental health issues. I'm prone to like go into a really, really dark place.
In case anybody's wondering what the Enneagram thing is, because we've mentioned this multiple times, it's basically like this very acute assessment of someone's psychology based on these questions that they answer. And it breaks down like your personality,
personality test.
Really close to a T. It's spelled, I think, ENNAGRAM, I
Be
believe.
sure you
So
just
can Google
butchered
that.
that.
Probably, I don't know.
Google it.
Enneagram. I mean, Matt, you can try to pull it up. I don't know. Yeah, you can look that up.
It's an awesome tool for self-awareness.
Yeah, it'll really teach you something about yourself.
People get too weird about it. Like,
it's super useful, and it's creepy. It's almost creepy, like how accurate it is. As long as you answer all the questions honestly, you have to answer the questions honestly and don't bullshit.
That's right. Yeah, and that's hard to do. It takes a little while. I love the Enneagram. People,
I agree. I love it too. It's awesome.
Are like, look, it's not the horse. It's not your horoscope. Like, it's not. There's nothing magic about it. What it is, it's a tool for self-awareness, and it's a tool to help you like communicate better with others. You know, because if you have an understanding of the diversity around you and maybe where people are coming from, it helps you communicate better with them. You know, I spent most of my life like wondering why I was different than everybody else. And then, you know, you take like an Enneagram test and suddenly you realize, oh, there's so many people that see the world the way that I do, that there's a number for it. So, yeah.
There's a number for it. 1-800-OUTLIERS. I've always been very drawn to people that are on the outside, on the outer edge, the eclectics and the outliers and stuff like that. Because I've always kind of felt like that myself. Although somebody told me once that they said I was a floater. Like I could float around in any sect of people, in any group. And I was like, I guess it's just because I love different things. So I get involved in this and then I like this. But, you know, I'm sitting here with a latex mask on right now on Halloween. I can barely talk. All right, I'm going to take this mask off for a second because I can't talk and I can't breathe here. I just can't do it.
This is going to be a lot easier for me with that off your face, I'm going to be honest.
Go ahead and tell us, you need to be my workout partner. How do you feel about that? Let's hear about that.
It's a pretty, it's going to be a pretty intense, like 3 hours of your life if you want to be my workout partner.
Oh, God. Oh, it's just like I just shed skin like a snake.
I feel like I've gone to another dimension all of a sudden when
lips.
you took that mask off.
Oh, my lips. I can finally feel my lips again. It's so wonderful.
I'm going to unhood this.
Jesus Christ. And I can actually hear myself better now through all that latex. That's great. Bethany Gamble. What is something that you personally what are you wrestling with right now? What is the things that you're dealing with individually? Where do they stem from and how are you trying to beat them? How are you trying to overcome it? We're getting deep here.
So many things.
What is it?
I'm a professional wrestler.
You're a professional wrestler? Okay.
I'm
like Hulk Hogan?
Professional wrestler.
Hey, brother.
I'm a professional wrestler of demons. I always tell people that's my life verse.
By demons be driven.
I've had too much. I've had too much liquor to be really acute when it comes to quoting like Bible verses.
Well, I mean, I think in that line outfit, you're pretty cute.
Thank you. I think.
Yeah. What do you deal with?
There's a verse in the Bible where he's wrestling with God and God wrenches his hip loose.
Who is he?
I told you, don't ask me questions. I've had too much whiskey. It's in the Bible. You can Google it.
Jeremiah.
Everyone here has internet. No,
Jebediah.
I really am. Again, more acute theologically than this.
Continue with your story though. So
it says, "I will not." He's wrestling with God, and he tells God, "I will not let you go until you bless me." And that's how I feel like I've been. This is where I feel like I've been my entire life. I'm a professional wrestler with God and the circumstances around me. I don't accept anything. I'm always wrestling for a better day. Yeah, for myself, for the world around me. Like I'm made for war. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to wage war against whatever it is, causing pain, be that for myself or the world around me. Yeah, right. I mean, right now, I'm not really wrestling with anything new. Mental health has always been a real struggle for me, and that's just.
Now, is that when you say mental health, is that clinical stuff or is it just?
Definitely
self-diagnosed.
No, I'm definitely clinically diagnosed. Actually, 6 years ago this week, I was released in my last stint in the Brookwood Mental Hospital. So 6 years ago today, I was involuntarily committed and I was released. So I have clinical diagnosis of a lot of things. They all stem from trauma, early childhood trauma, for the most part. And it took me this many years to really start coming to terms with to accept what happened, that it wasn't my fault, and to start figuring out what it did to me. My worldview is affected by trauma, everything is dangerous.
Now, can I ask you what did you get committed for? If I can ask that. If it's too personal, obviously you want the answer. It's no big deal.
I was a danger to myself. Yeah, that was the official rationale. What most people don't understand, I can tell you the story, right? I can tell you a lot of people don't know what it's like to be committed, to be forced into the mental health floor of a hospital and told you can't leave. So I was in a really toxic marriage for almost 15 years. Like, my marriage was not good. It was bad. It was very oppressive. And we were in a place in our marriage where they wanted me to leave. I didn't have anywhere to go. And this individual told me, well, if you don't leave, I'm going to make you miserable. And proceeded to make me miserable.
Now, was this after you gave birth to your son or before?
Yes, this was after. This was only 6 years ago. So my son was 10 or 11 years old when this happened. And so I didn't leave. I didn't know what to do. I was really confused. People throw around the term gaslighting, right, these days. That is an actual thing. But gaslighting in its extreme form is when someone will hide things from you and say that you lost them so that you think you're crazy. Yeah, and that's the sort of thing I was going through. So I was really spiraling. And so, it was, I was married to him for 15 years. So that was my choice. I take the heat off this individual who shall remain unnamed. I chose to stay in that marriage. I could have left. When they said that, I could have said, nobody, I think you're going to leave, thrown his ass out and carried on about my life. I chose not to do that. So it was my choice. However, the last time I was committed, I stayed there. Things were just not good. There was a lot of just icky stuff happening. They weren't speaking to me for a week. And they were like, it was an effort to make me miserable. And I was still getting up, going to work, taking care of my kid in this 800 square foot apartment with somebody that didn't want me there. And so I woke up one morning and there was liquor in the house and I drank it.
Okay.
I drank every bit of it and then I went to work.
Oh, wow. What kind of liquor was it? What'd you drink?
It was whiskey. Anything worth doing is worth doing right, buddy. And I tell these stories only because I've worked through it. This isn't where I am anymore. This is where I was. And somebody's there right now, So I get drunk and alcohol is a depressant. That's why I choose to drink. I choose not to drink most of the time. If I'm in a good mood and it's a good day, I'll have a drink. Like today,
Cheers.
Halloween, I can
Cheers,
have a drink.
maybe.
I'm going to be fine. But I'm really careful about when I drink because my mood can be radically affected. Alcohol is a depressant. I got really depressed. I get home and I'm like, I want to die. And that thought is repeating over and over in my head. And I know that I can't kill myself because I have a kid. And if I killed myself, that kid would be without me. But I felt like I needed to reach out to somebody. So I called my therapist and I was like, I don't remember the last time I was this low. And I was drunk on top of that. And they called my significant other at the time. Same person who told me if I didn't leave that they would make me miserable. And at the end of that conversation, my significant other drove me to the hospital. And at which time I was forcibly committed, which it's not as bad as it sounds, but it was really traumatic. So, and when you're forcibly committed like that, usually they keep you for 3 days. That's how long they kept me. They kept me for 3 days. I could not leave. I was not allowed to leave. And God forbid you get too excited or too whatever, they will threaten you. I was threatened. I mean, it was not a good experience. It wasn't a positive experience. Some people need it. It's necessary sometimes. But for me, it was really unfair. It kind of haunts me sometimes. Still being locked in a room because you're sad and somebody else is messing with you is a pretty horrifying experience. So yeah. And so when you're committed, you go to the emergency room. They'll ask you some questions, and if you answer them honestly, there is a pretty good chance you're going to that 4th floor.
Oh no.
And I get to the 4th floor, and they ask you another series of questions. And I was talking to the nurse, and the nurse said, "Why are you here? You don't belong here." She said, "Just do whatever they tell you to do, so you can get out of here as quickly as possible." And she felt really bad for me. They won't let you go outside if you don't if you don't follow all the rules. Like, yeah, it's not fun. It's not a good experience. Some people loved it there. I was not one of those people.
Yeah, it's crazy to hear this too. Like, having known you for several years now, you just seem pretty straightforward to me. Like, you seem like you're on a pretty good playing field. I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time with you. Just talking with you. Like, you seem pretty stable. I mean, everybody's a little crazy. I'm really effing crazy.
I'm super stable. I'm a very stable person. That stability comes at a great cost inwardly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is like we look. You talked about full circle. It's holding the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Right, like Atlas.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. I refuse. I think a lot of people make the mistake of letting their mental health problems become their identity. I refuse to let that happen.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere that whatever it is that causes damage for you, you shouldn't use as a crutch to lean on, but as a springboard to shoot yourself into the sky, like Superman.
That's it.
I mean,
that's where I am. Like, I would do it the same all over again, because I am tough as shit. You can say a lot of things about me, but like, I can survive. I'm hard to kill because I've been through a lot in my life, and I wouldn't change any of it. And I hurt a lot. I get depressed a lot. However, that's not going to be the last line of my story. I refuse to let it. And I do, like I said, the mental health problems I have is not depression and anxiety. They're very serious. And at times it's life and death for me. So mindset's super important for me. And like I said, it won't be the last, have the last word in my story. And the only reason I really ever open up about it is because I want someone else to know that it doesn't have to be the last word in their story. It doesn't mean that you're not still valuable. Don't let it become your identity, though. You can't let that stuff become your identity. You're so much more than a person with depression or psychosis or schizophrenia or whatever it is you have. That's not your identity. That's not who you are. That's not what you are. That is just something you're dealing with.
Like, don't let it confine you. Let it define you for the better. Use your struggles as salvation.
Well, I mean, life is about what we overcome, right? It's about legacy.
Yeah, what you're leaving back on the world. Your impression.
That's right. And, it's hard to leave a good impression on the world or to leave a great impact on the world when you're somebody that floated through and didn't struggle and didn't suffer.
I feel sorry for people like that, if I'm being honest.
I don't feel sorry for people like that. I envy those people.
Do you?
I'm like,
I feel
my God,
them,
some of us make it out alive. Bless you. No, I don't feel sorry for those people. I think there is I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
because
no,
I'm saying this because when times get hard, though, I mean, what are those people going to do?
Oh, generally, those are the people that fall apart. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, then they're fucked. Like,
their tolerance is so low. But, don't you ever wish that you had a lower tolerance for pain? Don't you wish you were in a position where your tolerance was lower for pain?
Well, I can speak very confidently on this because I was the baby of my family, and my mom spoiled me rotten. Even now, she even tries to do it now. I'm like a grown man and all this other stuff.
Did she buy you that Cookie Monster shirt?
No. I got this. I got this myself, lady. I ordered this bad boy.
It looks like something mom would buy for you. Just saying.
No, my mom would probably be like, "Oh, that's stupid. Why are you wearing this for kids?" But she spoiled the crap out of me, and in going into my adult life, it really translated over into like my relationships. Like, I would find someone that I could latch onto to pseudo take care of me. And that really screwed me up, especially in the times when I became single in my adult life, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know, like, who's gonna make me breakfast? Who's gonna wash my clothes? Like, it sounds so funny, but it's ridiculous, and it ruined me. And I had to grow up as a grown up. And so as in my adult age now, I kind of realized that, like, sometimes I almost like to do things that are more challenging and harder because I like the struggle because it it carves you out of stone.
Overcoming the hard stuff is what gives life value, I guess, for me. And that's coming from somebody. My problem is actually the opposite. And again, this is, most of the things I talk about, they're not self-diagnosed. They're clinical. I've been in therapy my entire life. I'm a pro. Like, I was put on antidepressants for the first time when I was 8 years old. Yeah. My problem is the opposite, that I experience, sort of delayed onset adolescence because I didn't have one.
So that's why you're like, you're broing it out right now, lifting weights and drinking some whiskey.
Yeah. So again, it comes back to that, like being somebody that's very embodied, very much in my body. I express myself with my body and in my mind in a lot of ways emotionally. I'm a 13-year-old girl. So I'm expressing myself, my body, like I'm a 13-year-old girl. I get hurt a lot because I'm not 13. I'm almost 40. So yeah, and people laugh about that stuff and they, this term snowflake, I've heard it thrown around or whatever, but I kind of like, that bothers some people, but it doesn't bother me because I'm definitely one of those that's like, yeah, the kind of people that say that stuff could not walk a year in my shoes. They'd get crushed.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's the stuff that you deal with definitely is not what I guess a general average person from middle society has to deal with. And so I guess you dressing up like a lion is very poetic. Well, that's pretty, I feel like you're in a really good headspace now though. Like I said, I know you pretty well. I don't know you that well. Like,
it's all about perspective.
We should hang out more though. Well, I don't understand why we don't hang out enough.
You don't have to be in a good headspace. It's about embracing the darkness and being curious about it instead of rejecting it outright. I think that's really important for people to understand. Like, the more you fight it, like the harder it's going to fight back.
Right. It's like swimming against the current. You could just go with the current. Just flow with the current.
And that's like you. I guess you asked me that's not what I'm wrestling with. I'm not really wrestling. What I'm having to learn to do is embrace my dark side and approach it with curiosity instead of shame.
I'm sorry, I got to do this real quick.
Oh my God, don't go there.
Embrace the power of the dark side, Luke. Embrace the power of the dark side, Luke.
I'm one of those
Star Wars fans out there.
I could honestly believe I could move with my mind if I decided that's what I was going to figure out how to do.
You might be able to. It's always those people that have all that psychological damage that can do all the crazy stuff, like Matilda. I was just talking to somebody about Matilda. You know the Matilda, right? Okay. Yeah. There you go.
I mean, once I burn out my ACL and my rotator cuff and my lower
That's
back,
what you gotta do
I'm
next.
just going to start moving my mind.
Start like Professor Xavier. Start doing it. That's cool. So at the end of the day, where do you want to see yourself? What are your ultimate goals? Where do you see yourself in the future? What mountain do you want to stand on top of and plant your flag? What does that look like?
Oh my gosh, I just live a day at a time. I don't think like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really think like that. I reverse engineer my life. If when I die loved, and I die having left some kind of lasting impact on this world, and I die having left a positive impact on my son, and my son I raise in such a way that he will leave a positive impact on the world. That's all that I want. I live a day at a time towards that goal. That's it. I don't care if I'm broke. I don't care if I'm rich. I don't care if I'm single. I don't care at all. If I leave, I'm just all about positivity, like being positive, overcoming one day at a time.
Boom. And that's a wrap. On that note, we're done. That's good. Thanks for being on the show today, Bethany.
No problem.
I really, really appreciate it. Definitely gonna have to get you back on here. And we need to hang out more. I don't know why the we don't hang out more.
I don't hang out with anybody. I'm too busy being in the gym. You can come to the gym with me.
I'll definitely come to the gym with you.
3 hours of your worst nightmare because I don't
work out for about an hour and a half, dog.
It takes me 30, 45 minutes just to warm up, dude.
Jesus Christ. I probably can't keep. See, now. Yeah, you know what? We got to do this because now you're getting me in competitive mode right now. And then this little girl show me up. I'm kidding.
I mean, to be fair, I am a female, and the facts are You're probably stronger than me. I had to work really strong to just be as strong as a man.
I didn't create science, so it just is what it is.
I ain't mad about it. But my Wilkes score is probably higher than yours.
There's probably all kinds of, like, we'll see. We'll definitely have to work out together. I'd love to. We should just hang out, just, chat, do stuff like this without it having
Without
to be,
microphones.
without the microphones. I mean, whatever, have some drinks and stuff, seriously. But pound it, you lioness, you. Boom. Circle of life. Signing off now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching or listening to another episode of the Wrestling Diaries on Halloween. Although technically when you hear this, it won't be Halloween, so I apologize. But perhaps next year we'll actually have it actually on Halloween. It's pre-recorded, so Matt will probably put in on all of his sweet little Halloween effects and all that cute stuff. This is a really important episode just about people that struggle with their own mental health and where they want to be in life and how they can overcome the things that they've dealt with in their past and come to a better place. Like Bethany's found a lot of awesome catalysts to kind of catapult her into the sky and to be successful and to be happy through faith and fitness and all kinds of things, positivity. And it's wonderful and it's beautiful. And I feel like anybody listening to this, I feel like this could translate to just about anybody listening to it. It translates to me, I know. And hopefully it does to you as well. Check us out on YouTube for the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content we release weekly. Also, hear the audio podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Pocket Cast, Overcast, Google Podcast. Let me ask you a question. What do you wrestle with? And how can you beat it? One love and happy Halloween.